it's probably a funny thing to mention, but some mail came today, and it was addressed to, Tanya Natalie Secrets is my full name. And I don't know, when I saw it, I just became very irritated. It's a strange thing, which is an odd response. But I think probably because I have been unwell and actually had more time to myself, more downtime, had been sort of quietly trying to not be that person or not identify with that person. So when I received this mail, it was almost like it irritated me.
So when you say the mail irritated, is it your name on it irritated you?
It was my name because it identified me. The ego, exactly. And I felt my immediate response was, oh, I didn't want to open it. I was just annoyed by it. It was a very irrational response.
But I can understand where it might be coming from. It is coming from your de-identification with everything, and you are thinking that the whole story of this being is this name which is on this mail, and you're not interested in this story, so you're not interested in this name as well, so
that's what it feels like.
Yeah,
but that's what it feels like.
don't have any strong tendencies for anything, actually. I talk about witnessing, and I love witnessing. And other day someone was saying, Bhagwan, but maybe we are on the last level, we are on the 10th level, so each to his own. Whatever technique works for you is the best for you. Like when we are witnessing things and we are trying to deconstruct what we have already created, it's us, which is fake actually. When you deconstruct, then these emotions and these things and all that can come, and that's all okay. Only thing is, don't identify with those things as you. Like when you said, when you received this mail with your name on it, it irritated you. Now, if you are witnessing that irritation, you can say that I saw some irritation arising as a feeling when I saw the mail. And that feeling lasted for some time and then left. But you are not that feeling. Problem is when we identify ourselves with these types of feelings or emotions or thoughts. That means we have already agreed to be part of it or own it. Our ownership of these feelings is a problem. Feelings themselves is not a problem. Feelings can come and go. Until you have this body, we call a person as Jivan Mukta and Vidhe Mukta. Jivan Mukta means who is liberated. Jivan is actually life. Jivan Mukta is who is free in this life. And Vidhe Mukta means body, free from the body. So free from the body occurs only when there's death to the body, when you leave the body, whenever that time comes. Until that time comes, even if you are a liberated person, a person can't be liberated, but a liberated, that pure presence, there will be requirements of the body, there will be feelings, and there will be thoughts. Things will be there. The structure of the mind-body complex is still there, but there is no ownership. So things comes and goes. Actually, they are also right now coming and going in all of us. But our identification is the problem. And Tanya, if I can correct you slightly, you can still have the same thing, but see from that witness that a feeling came on seeing the mail, and don't own that feeling, just watch it. And it is beautiful. Actually, what you told me was so beautiful. But you should not identify with that thing. That's all. Let it happen. Let it come. You know. Thomas Edison, one of those scientists, it was the time of Great Depression, and he was in a queue to get a loaf of bread. And when they called his name, he didn't answer. They called his name like 3-4 times, and then someone said, "It must be you because everyone has received." He said, "Yes, yes." He said, "We were calling your name." He said, "For last 6 months, I was at home. Nobody was calling my name, so I forget what is my name." Because, role of name is not for us. Role of name is for others, because they identify this body form to communicate with a name. But we as ego can give too much of importance to a name. That creates more problem than help. That is the way ego thrives on these things, some sort of identity. Name is a big identity. In India, these brahmacharis or celibate who have taken, celibacy. So they have a family name, a name which was given by the family. And when they move into ashram, they are given a new name. And after 10 years, when they move from brahmachari to a swami, they are given a completely different name again. So they have been given so many names and so many times that their identification with a name is not there. This is done deliberately by those realized sages to get rid of this identification with the body-mind complex. And actually, I feel that this is really creditable, the way you are almost de-identified with that, whatever you're calling it. But just be witness to it.
I think for me, it was also a sense of sort of being constantly pulled back in, or pulled back out, actually. And, even work demands, and being, if I'm on leave or I'm on sick leave, but constantly being pulled back in, even though I'm saying to everybody, I'm off limits, I'm not available, I'm unwell or something, and still they're pulling or they're trying to draw me out. It feels constant. And when it's not work, it's the home life and other things, and pressures of being a mother as well as, having a work life. And to be honest with you, actually, I really embraced this last week of not being well, because I was able to hide away in my sick room and really just pursue my own interest and do my own thing quietly without what feels like constant interruption or being drawn out all the time, distracted.
I'll give you another simple practice which can help you. When we say we are being pulled out by people, by demands of life, don't get pulled out. Stay in your heart. And let the body go and do things what are being required, or address the situation, whatever it is, the demand of situation. But never leave your heart. Stay there all the time. I'll tell you, you will stay so soft, so humble in that reality of your own pure awareness as nothing, but just that stillness. It is like once you have found that place within you, then don't move from there for any reason, for anyone. Understand that these two things are not contradictory. Your work, your family, your commitments, your responsibilities, your earning, your financial losses or gain or bodily issues, they are. Only problem is when you identify with the body-mind complex, then you become owner of everything. When you lose your identity with the body-mind, with the name, then nothing affects us. Because what you are is always the same, that awareness. It has nothing affects it. The one which gets affected is not pure self. That is only ego. That is the one who identifies with the body mind complex. Understand this truth always. So, whenever you are getting irritated, you feel you are pulled out, understand that energy is not you. That has nothing to do with you. And when you just witness to it, it actually drops down. Just witness to it is making it drop down. Because situations are not in our hand. And how people perceive us is not in our hand. And I'll tell you another thing, even how this body mind do things or fail to do things is also not in our hand. Because the body mind is being given to us. It not, if you want to be a marathon runner, maybe you can't be. And for some, it is a cakewalk. So everyone is so different, you know. So excuse this body mind, excuse others. And because this body mind is not more closer to you, it is more closer to other body minds and this world and the situation. It is part of the same dream. You are only a witness. If you think you are this body mind, then there are others and people and a situation and the world around us. So understand your identification with this body mind makes you separate from others and create all this resistance. If you call it a practice, then this is a practice just to be or being or just. Because everything which creates issues in any form is in form of thoughts or feelings or emotions. And they are in the domain of mind, it's not you. Constant remembrance of that pure awareness can help you to de-identify with the body-mind complex. Keep your attention there. Anyone wants to say anything or talk about anything? Yes, Asha ji. You can unmute yourself.
The suggestion which you gave just now, it requires a lot of practice. Continuous practice it requires. Beautiful suggestion.
I think, yeah, probably you are right. There is some sort of, you have to pay attention to that. So that can be a practice. But then it becomes very natural after some time.
Yes. Yes.
I think Ben wants to say something. Ben, yes.
Yes, it's true. It needs some practice and maybe grace, and the universe is going to help. You know, Sanjay, when you asked, "Do you have questions?" It was like questions wanted to. It was like, you know, a boiling water, but the question disappeared like a bubble. Just to react to what was said before, for the first 8 years of my life, I was called Ali Ben Hassan. And then my parents divorced. And for 10 years, I was called Ben. And it's very funny because I met people that knew me when I was a child and they called me Ali. So I had, like, in the same example you said, I had different names. And even after I had other names. And I don't know why. It's like it happened like this. And I think luck, grace, I don't know how to call it, is working behind the scenes and helps us. I just wanted to say that.
That is so beautiful. So beautiful. I too used to have a name which was different from this, Sanjeev, because I'm not sure how. But whenever I used to go to my maternal side, they always said to me Sanjeev, even now. And my mom said that initially we told them that this would be the name. And then we kept the proper name, but they kept saying the same name. Because we are all that nameless, formless, which is not coming and going. Yes, this body, you can say, we need a name to address for, and that too only for workable identity, nothing more than that. It doesn't matter. You know the name because you're talking about the name. When we put these satsang videos on YouTube, I was not putting any name to those, that who is speaking, who is doing, but Bhagwan's picture. And then there were a lot of questions. It can't be Bhagwan. He left his body in 1950. It can't be Bhagwan. Ramana Maharishi is speaking. And people have weird questions. And then I thought, okay, I have to put name. Then I put Ramana Das. Because Das means you are devotee or Bhagwan, and Ramana is Ramana Maharishi. Then I started getting emails, oh, you are Bengali, are you from Calcutta, or, because Das is a surname there. Or they said, oh, you are in an ashram, Ramana Das, why you kept the same name as Bhagwan? And you keep a name, you don't keep a name. For people, there can always be issues, And then people said, why don't you just write Sanjay Raghav there, in those videos? You do whatever that consciousness, but people can interpret in their own ways things, doesn't matter. And so some things are done just living in this dream world as this dream world asks us. As there are rules on the road, we have to follow. That's all. But life, I'll tell you, is so simple, so easy. When you don't project out, when you live in this path of no resistance. Because awareness is not having any intention for anything. It just lives. Yes, this body might be given a job to perform. And that's why it is in a particular situation, circumstances, education, family. And let it do. Let it do. There's no contradiction between the two things. Only when you identify as a doer in this body, then you suffer and then you are in bondage. Body never says that your name is Tanya or Sanjay. It is we only say. And perhaps it is correct. That's the name of the body, not us. So let it be. Let this body be called by a certain name. But there's no doer as such in this body who can claim anything. This is the real freedom. When we give up our identification, perhaps situation around you might be the same, but it is a big difference. understand it is a difference as being a mortal being to an immortal pure self. Something which is decaying, changing to changeless. Something which is a wave, always behaving as your mind wants you to behave. Now free from the mind. We have so many ways to tame different pets, animals. The best way to tame mind is to have no relationship with it. You know, when we have no relationship with mind and the awareness takes over, awareness has its own, you can call as qualities. You don't have to nurture those qualities, or you don't have to develop anything. It is already there. It is the way the awareness is. Because of no identification with body, it is always impartial, always neutral. Because it is impartial and neutral, it does not see anything as separate. So it has no jealousy, no competition. And it is this space in which you are so contented. So you are desireless. And this awareness knows that it is eternal, undecaying, so it has no fear. And it knows it cannot gain anything, cannot lose anything. So it is not looking to achieve anything. It has no risk. Knowing it is its own reassurance. Good news is it is in all of us. And the second good news is all of us can find within us. More you are interested in it, more it unfolds in you. It's like a melting wax doll. The ego is dissolving, and what is left is already there. Give your energy to the silence, not to thoughts, not to emotions, not to feelings. But don't fight, don't control. Let it be. Don't try to change anything. Don't put intention against something. Though for ego it might be really bad. Any resistance gives energy to ego. That happens with seekers in initial part all the time because they want their own space, quietude. They don't want to socialize. They don't want to talk cheap or gossip or at that level. I'm not trying to disrespect anyone, but in ego, we talk in a different language. Me all the time about things. And when your energy is not going there, you don't want to interact with people with whom you think you might slip back. But then too much of resistance against what you have to do just because you feel that you will slip back is not a good thing, because you have to expose yourself. Go there and see how much you are sleeping. Okay, I've slipped today. Don't worry. Have a laugh on it. Let's see tomorrow again. Take it as a game. Take it as a divine game. Because what you are and what you think you are, they both are coming from the same source. That's why they call in Hindi a beautiful word, Leela. I don't know how you will say in English, maybe play. It is play of the divine. But Leela is not just play. Leela is like, you can call it a divine play. Like you are in a trap, but you're not in a trap, and now you can get out of the trap, and then there are ways to get out of the trap. And the way which works for you is the best way. So nobody should say that this is the best way. All ways are good ways, all are best ways, all goes to the same summit of the top. You know, when we talk about God, you come from any religion, when someone says about God, it fills you with so much of peace and bliss, and you feel so good. And you have so much of respect for that absolute, for that power, for that God. But when you experience that godliness within you, you know how much you will love all type of religions and sects and people, because they're all talking about you only. They are in their own way. Maybe sometimes you might think that they are talking about it, but they have not full understanding, but that's okay. Everyone is at their own level trying to understand it. But they are all talking about this in your heart, which you have known, or you're trying to know, or you had glimpses. How beautiful it becomes, how beautiful life becomes. Everyone talks about that. Everyone talks the same language. Sometimes it looks they are talking something different. It is coming from a different religion, but not. It's not true. If you really go there, you will find the truth is always the same. There is no change. You come from religion, you come without religion, you will know the same truth. I would like to share something which I saw recently. I took my son for his soccer match on weekend, and there was a beautiful church almost next to where he went. And there was a beautiful message on that church, which I want to share with you. Let me see if I can find that. This was St. Andrew's Church in Brighton in Melbourne. And this was inscribed there: for a spiritual seeker, we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. For what is seen is only temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. 11 Corinthians 4:18. Fixing your eyes on unseen, not on what is seen, is the way. What are these eyes? This is that attention on that unseen awareness, what we all are. If we fix our eyes, our attention there, then what is seen, which you perceive all the time as reality, will lose its effect on you. Just like in a dream, if when you know it is a dream, it has no effect on you. Paying attention on pure awareness is like paying attention to the one who is the seer, who is the observer, not the seen outside. All those people who always argue whether there is God or there is no God, they are all in the trap of mind. Because to know God, you have to look within and you will find Him. Even if you go to a church or a mosque or a temple or anywhere, there also you have to meditate, contemplate within. That is just a sacred space to do this, like a classroom to study. But it's in your heart. He is not a thing. He is not a form. He is not which comes and goes. You come and go. What you think is what you are. Mind comes, mind goes, and we think we are mind. That means we are dead in deep sleep because there is no mind. We are not mind. How that God in our heart interacts with us by silence, by bliss, by peace. How do you know that silence and bliss and peace? When you fix your whole energy, attention to the one who is observing everything happening. When you pay attention there, you only hear silence. Some people feel hummingness, some people feel vibration, but it's not an entity, it's not a sound as such. It is that which speaks to you as you. When you pull back your energy from the external world, awareness has no story to tell. Ego, which identifies with all the happenings of the body, which it takes it so seriously. When that energy goes within, paying attention to the observer, this internal transformation happens. The one who was complaining, having grudges, issues, that somewhere just dissolves. Like some internal explosion happens and that person just disappears. Bhagavan puts it so beautifully. He says, whenever a thought arises, ask to whom this thought arises. And your answer will be to me. Then put another question. Who is this me? Who is this I? And just leave it there. If this question is intense, honest, humble, it will take you to emptiness. This is the direct path of self-inquiry. For some people, it is very difficult because thoughts after thoughts and strong identification is there. You can take a step away from this inquiry and start witnessing. That is another way. In witnessing, there is mixing of ego, because sometimes ego can be witnessing and behaving as it is witnessing as pure self. But doesn't matter. That mixed witnessing becomes pure with constant practice. If you are sincere, from morning till you go to bed, keep your attention on this observer. Within a few weeks, you will notice your reaction to people, your irritation about certain individuals or situations, or from past experiences, or worries about the future. Everything will just dissolve. It should be like a flow of river, a pouring of oil, this constant remembrance of awareness. If you want to use the word God instead of awareness, you can do that also. That works better for you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. We appreciate these sessions very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.